Nope.
But they got excited about MVP interrupting the Big Show.
Another mid-carder.
A mid-carder. They were excited. More excited about him than they were about Mayweather.
Take a hint, Vince.
Exactly. You're complaining about your product not being there. You need to look in the middle area. Your top sucks and your bottom sucks.
I'm going to continue later on in the show to keep bringing up points with Joe Blow.
Right.
And his newspaper.
Right.
You know? That's the reason why I don't read the LA Times.
Right.
I read the Daily Breeze. Well, all right. You know what? I think ps2peter.
ps2peter
has been waiting on hold long enough. He wants to talk about... Hold on. He wants to talk about TNA.
Let's do it.
And we're going to bring him on right now. PSP Peter, can you hear me?
Good evening, gentlemen.
All the way from the UK, it is PS2 Peter. Now,
Leeds, England, yes.
Now, do you like this song, by the way?
I haven't heard this artist before.
You haven't heard The Clash before?
Oh, The Clash?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not into that, the old English type of music.
Oh, okay, all right. All right, well, let me get rid of that then.
Quick question. Peter, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite soccer team over there?
Pardon?
Whoa, right. Your soccer team.
Oh, soccer team, yes. Bradford City, you probably won't be familiar with them as they're a lower league team.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Wow. All right, so you written us an email, and you brought up TNA.
Yeah, TNA. Right. From what just listening to you guys, and it seems like you're WWE fans more than TNA fans.
I like TNA. We just don't have a lot of time to get on there and talk about it, but I would always love to talk about TNA.
Let me give you a little bit of background. See, like for me, I've been a WWE fan since 1988. So it's kind of like in my blood. I've known the in and outs, who came in, who came out, blah, 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 blah. My boy Ray here is kind of a little bit more diversified as far as he is more of a wrestling fan in general. I mean, he's watched Japan, he's watched WWE, and he's watched TNA, Ring of Honor,
ECW.
so on, stuff like that. So, for me, I'm kind of one-sided, but I think most of this interview is going to be carried by my boy Ray.
Yeah.
Right. I get it. Well, anyway, every time you ask a WWE fan, what do they think of TNA? The obvious answer is they think it's a joke. I mean, with TNA, you've got them making exactly the same mistakes they made in WCW with the main event mafia. They're treating it like the old NWA thing, taking up way too much time on Impact and the pay-per-views. Right. I mean, look at who you've got as the champion. You've got Samoa Joe as the X Division champion. He's the new member of the main event mafia, and you got the Scott Steiner and Booker T as tag team champions, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Kurt Angle's the world champion, who could soon be in prison.
Well, let me ask you this then. I mean, because obviously you're a TNA fan, and you've obviously seen the NWO. Isn't this kind of what kind of was the ending of WCW, because they brung in the NWO, which was
and given way too much time, like TNA are doing with Main Event Mafia.
Now, do you think that Vince Russo is also in TNA, and he's also the head writer, supposedly? Now, and then you have Kevin Nash. Do you think those two are getting together and they're killing TNA?
I obviously think that's yes. I was reading Eddie's book the other day, and just how he describes Kevin Nash, how he does business. This guy is a total arsehole, always looking out for himself. And I would just look at TNA. He's a Legends champion.
And he hasn't wrestled.
Yeah. I just say that, man.
Yeah.
He's only looking out for himself. He's putting himself in the main storyline with the Main Event Mafia and all of this, giving himself championships, which he does not deserve at all. It's totally ridiculous with Kevin Nash. And Vince Russo, this is another funny thing I read from Eddie's book. He says when Vince Russo came in, for some reason, he had an obsession with pole matches. And, well, you can see that in TNA.
Yeah.
And obviously a pole match, they're all right. I don't mind them, but Vince Russo, he goes overboard with the pole matches. He has about 20 pole matches a year, at least.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, totally. And just some of the things he puts on the pole, like I think they had a taser on a pole match not long ago with Abyss and not Raven, Dr. Stevie.
Oh yeah, that's right. And they had one with what's his name too, Suicide too.
Yeah, the X Division. I don't mind Suicide.
Yeah, Suicide's good.
Yeah, Suicide's good. I think he's been played by Kaz, I think. So yeah, I don't mind Suicide at all. I know a lot of people bitch about the gimmick. I think the background of the gimmick is a bit stupid, but yeah, I don't mind Suicide being a top player.
Because he can actually wrestle, and he's got a lot of talent.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But what do you think? What do you think that they need to do with the main event Mafia to make that show a little better? Because I like the way they were going with Samoa Joe kind of destroying each one of the members, and then out of nowhere he just joins. I thought if they would have continued that, and also with what's his name,
Matt Morgan.
Matt Morgan. I thought like a Samoa Joe and Matt Morgan, the way they were kind of going against like Kurt Angle and the main event Mafia. I thought the storyline like that was working really well. And now adding Samoa Joe, and then just taking Taz out of nowhere and putting him on the mic, I just kind of thought that they killed that whole entire thing and gave main event Mafia way too much power, like you're talking about, and I don't see what they can do. What do you think that main event Mafia got to do to fix it?
Main event Mafia. Well, first of all, it's gone on way too long. I think
right.
It's just with stupid storylines and stuff like that and pointless endings. Yeah, I didn't mind the Samoa Joe turn. To fix it, I think they need to start bringing the downfall to main event Mafia now. I think they should start playing. I mean, because before they tried to do the downfall thing with Sting,
right?
But he just ended up coming back to them and stuff like that. But they need to start the downfall stuff, like Kurt Angle maybe pissing Steiner off with all the arguing and stuff like that. So Steiner leaves, and then the same with Kevin Nash would happen, to get rid of the main event Mafia. Because I think it's just run its course now, and I don't think you could make it work as a long-time stable.
Right.
Let me put my 2 cents in it. I think the way you could better the main event and Mafia in the TNA, get rid of Russo.
Yeah, I say get rid of Russo and Nash. I think Booker T can still wrestle. Steiner he's okay for as big and as slow as he's been and all the injuries he's ever been through. He at least gives it a shot. But Kevin Nash and Russo's got to go, and I think Kurt Angle's got to get better title defenses. I think that tag team needs to have some better tag defenses with either with Bubba Ray and Devon, or Beer Money, or even bring in Motor Machine Gun. Motor Machine Gun hasn't done anything, and they're a really good tag team.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was just thinking that earlier about the Motor City Machine Gun, but I believe it was something where last year they had an incident where they refused to blade for a match or something, so that just knocked their push straight on the head then. So,
right.
It's just ridiculous stuff like that. I mean, it's not their fault if they don't want to blade. That shouldn't affect their career.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Now,
just thinking about TNA as well, they're bringing in a new Knockouts title, which is...
with the tag team, right?
Yeah, tag team title.
I actually like that idea. I think it's going to be something revolutionary for the women. I mean, women's never had a tag team title, and I think it's excellent. I think TNA has a better women's roster than WWE right now, and their wrestling's okay, and their storylines are a little better than WWE's. They seem more put together, and they don't have to involve the men too much, and they carry their own show. They get a lot of TV time, and they do their own thing, and people still are there to watch it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not a bad thing bringing in the Knockouts title, but they've got that the Japanese title. I don't know the name of it, but they've got that. So I think 3 tag belts on a show is way too many.
Exactly, way too many. They're the IWPG tag team titles.
Well, wait a minute. You're telling me that TNA has 3 tag team belts?
Yes. When they bring in the Knockouts,
they're going to have the Knockouts, which is the women tag team. They're going to have Booker T and Steiner having the TNA tag,
right?
And then they have the IWPG tag team.
Now, do they have that many women to have a tag?
Oh yeah,
really?
They have a full roster.
They've brought in quite a few new women as well.
They just brought in a girl from AAA Wrestling, and then they brought in another one from Japan, Hamada, who was a really good wrestler.